I'd be scared if I heard that.
Man, I'm just imagining somebody driving in the car and was like, "Oh, I'm going to throw on episode 128 of the All You Can Hear podcast today with Tanner and 5 of his beautiful co-hosts." And then just fucking Colt screams. They're like, "Oh my god, I hit someone!"
I don't think we got anybody else's other sounds. To be honest.
No, I stopped.
Dude, I was like, he won.
Obviously, it was a competition who had the best sound. And I was going to scream, but I'm like, you know what? Wenzel's doing the audio. He's got earbuds in his ear. It'd be really loud if I screamed. And then I was like, and if anybody else screams, it's going to be Cody. And then fucking Colt just comes out of nowhere, screeches. Actually, I thought Jonathan had a dark horse chance of being the screamer. Terrified. Considering when we were doing an audio test earlier, we're trying to level out the audio levels and everybody's trying to be normal. And Jonathan just goes, "It's me." He's like talking heavy metal voice. And it's like, okay, that's normal. Anyways, I'm Tanner. This is the first episode of October. But let my co-hosts introduce themselves first.
My name Colt. That's me.
Whoa.
Jonathan.
Chiropractor Cody.
Whoa.
Oh, that's not a ghost. Never mind.
Or a location.
I was thinking poltergeist.
Wendy Wenzel.
I'm the wind. What? And you had a good wind sound too? What the fuck? You want to be host? You want to do audio?
It's preternatural, Pat.
What's that mean?
Prenatal?
It's another word for strange or bizarre, like supernatural.
Oh, okay, cool.
I thought you said prenatal.
You know what?
Pat is legitimately a walking fucking thesaurus.
Yeah, it's terrifying. Pat comes with new words every week. It's
almost like, I don't know how he looks them up.
It's almost like he's possessed.
What? It's possessed Pat.
This week to kick off our, well, I guess it's not really kick off because you kicked it off last week, but it was our first proper episode of October. We are doing haunted locations, haunted/spooky locations, where we're going to go through. Each of us have a different location. We're going to talk about it, and just to try to spook you. Yeah. You're scared. You're scared because you should be.
You're on scare tactics.
My britches have been
off.
shit.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Shannon
My
Doherty.
thing.
I don't know who that is.
She was on Charmed. She was the oldest sister.
Wait, who?
Shannon Doherty. She was the first.
Was she the sister that died?
Yeah.
In the show? Okay.
But Cody,
Sorry for Charm spoilers.
But Cody referenced scare tactics. Tracy Morgan.
Yeah.
No, Shannon Doherty was like the first host of Scare Tactics way back in the day.
Let me just tell you right now, I can't watch things with witches.
And you know what? Here's another Charm
devil.
spoiler. Who I am that's the theme song. I don't know any of the words.
You know, here's another spoiler: the cat can talk.
Whoa, that's fucked up.
That's not Charm.
No,
That's Sabrina.
Bewitched. No, it's not. I know.
Man, here's another fun fact about Charmed.
Kaylee Cuoco.
Yeah, she was in the show for a
Was
little
she?
bit. Yeah.
Who the fuck are these people?
She was in 8 Simple Rules.
Okay,
A Big Bang Theory.
Oh, God.
What?
Have you ever heard of
that?
Bazinga?
I was about to say she's too big.
She's Penny.
She's on those travel commercials with William Shatner. She was implied to be his
His
daughter.
daughter, which wouldn't work because William Shatner's like fucking 90.
I only know Bazinga. I don't know any of that.
God.
I don't like this.
Do y'all not study before the podcast?
I know. Doing a podcast.
I know, right?
What's the point of us having this show
We're
notes?
talking about Big Bang Theory.
God, she's so
As you know, it just
beautiful.
wrapped up its 13th
When's those
season,
horns?
final season. Anyways, we're talking about haunted locations. We're gonna go in alphabetical order, and maybe spook you a little bit. Maybe spook each other a little bit. So we're gonna start with our resident chiropractor, Cody.
Crack some bones.
Are you ready to be cracked?
Crack them.
Man, you know what? A chiropractor supervillain.
Spider-Man.
Just snapping bones.
That's just gonna be people reenacting Bane breaking Batman over his knee.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Bane wasn't like certified or anything. I'm talking
Yes,
to somebody
he
that
Yeah, he was.
He went. There's a whole part where he went to medical school.
What the fuck?
What? I haven't seen
No,
it.
no, it's not. No, it's
I was
not.
like, oh fuck.
No, we're fucking with you.
There's egg on my
Why do you think he
face.
wears a mask? To prevent germs
Oh man.
being spread.
Man.
So we did haunted places, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
It's like,
Let me do quick research real quick.
For a second, I thought Cody had his notes for his haunted location written on the napkin he just finished a donut on.
So, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of a small island off the coast of Venice known as Poveglia Island. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Poveglia! I don't know. I can't do Italian.
I've absolutely not heard of it.
I
I've
can't
watched
believe
all
it.
of season 5 of JoJo. So.
Yeah, they made the place from JoJo real.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Power of anime.
Rome.
Just go.
I know the story. I do too.
Well, I'm about to tell you again the story of Poveglia Island.
I've never heard of this.
So, Poveglia Island, some of you may know it from Ghost Adventures.
Oh, get the fuck out of
Yeah,
me.
this is where...
Was this the one where he punches the wall?
Yes.
Yeah!
And then proceeded to get a giant tattoo of death on his back to keep the demon away or something that followed him home. Anywho, we're about to talk about that. We're about to talk about that island, okay? Poveglia is this weird little island that was founded about 400 BC, not BC, AD. It was 400 AD.
It's like, damn, this place
And
is old.
it was like this place where it was a small island, it was a small village, small little thing. It could be easily defended, and there was really nothing there of value. And since it was so small, so it was really protected from anybody trying to invade the area, which was apparently very common. People love to invade things a long time ago. But in the where the story kind of begins is really in the violent history of the bubonic plague. So I don't know if everybody knows this, but does anybody know about the plague doctor mask?
Yeehaw.
Yeah.
Yep, that's where
Right.
put flowers.
It's the mask where you had this mask. It was like a bird's mask. It had glass little pieces over the eyes and a huge beak that kind of went over the nose. These were plague doctor masks, and these doctors, they believed that herbs and strong smelling incense and things like that, even vinegar sponges, would prevent sickness from going. Prevent them from getting the bubonic plague.
Inhaling it.
I'm just imagining
Thanks, Wenzel.
just a ton of vinegar in somebody's mask. Not the sponge, just the liquid vinegar.
It'd be better to smell that than the actual rotting.
like
Well,
the death
sure,
and
yeah,
stuff like
but-
that. So what would end up happening is the people who were dying of the plague in Venice was ravaging Europe at this time, and what would end up happening is these people would be taken to Poveglia, and basically what was supposed to happen was they were supposed to be able to just stand around or wait on this island and wait till let's see if they died from the infection, if they got better or whatever it may be. But quickly, this island, because of the huge onset of the disease, this island became populated with over 100,000 people, right? And this is a small ass island, so what?
Do you know the diameter, the area of the island?
I don't have that information. I'm sorry.
Damn.
It was very, very small. I don't really know the size.
Somewhere that couldn't house 100,000.
Yeah, it was definitely not available to house the entire population of New York City of 100,000. I can't count.
No wonder how many people Cody thinks live in New York. But go ahead.
like 20.
So what ended up happening was they ended up burning these people, literally burning them alive in a lot of instances, where they would have a boat that come in and they'd be like, oh, well, maybe I'll get better, maybe I won't. And they would just be like, oh, chuck them into the flames. And that's exactly what ended up happening. But
Didn't they do that because they didn't want it to spread through the rats burrowing through the corpses like they're already doing?
Yeah, I mean, there's probably there's probably a lot of reasons why they wanted to burn the bodies for lack of spread. Number one is the no spreading disease. They wanted to quarantine and eradicate, which was a really, I mean, I don't want to say it's a smart decision. They killed a lot of people that could have gotten better probably, or even like if you showed any sign of sickness. So it went from
So they were just burning anybody that even looked sick.
and it became like prisoners went, people who talked out against certain aspects of the government at the time. I mean, basically, it became an island like, oh, he got the plague, and then he was gone. And people, it kind of became so synonymous with the idea that, like, if you were sent off to Poveglia, you never came back.
Oh, okay.
And, well, I mean, you got to start wondering is, like, what happened to all those bodies they burned that they took there? They're literally buried. They are literally, the sand is, like, the sand there, like, the human DNA in the sand is everywhere.
Oh, my God.
Like, you pick up a handful of the dirt, and, like, a handful of the dirt is, like, filled with people. Like,
Oh, my God.
This is this island, by the way. It's really small.
It's very, very,
That is a
very
small
small.
island.
Oh wow.
So the interesting thing about this is that even today, like Venice's shores, and even on the shores of the actual island itself, charred bones from this time period will still wash ashore. And you can still, if you dig far enough, you will dig up a body.
That's
you will
insane.
anywhere on the island, because it just didn't have room. You will dig up bones. So that, coupled with the fact that in the late 1800s, after the kind of the plague issue kind of died down, the island was kind of set on its own. Not really, people really didn't go near it because of all the tortured past of it. And then in the 1800s, they decided to start building a insane asylum on this island, and these people were, I should say that the people that went to Poveglia, it was torture. It was everyone, they got tortured pretty much. Because they were also doing experiments to prevent the plague as well on people. It was a disgusting thing that happened on Poveglia. Well, then comes this insane asylum with, of course, late 1800s science of torture and pain against psychiatric patients.
It wasn't any kind of. It wasn't help for anyone. It was just a bunch of sick people
being tortured.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened on Poveglia then. And that happened until about mid 1900s, and then about in the mid 1900s. After that, it was turned into a geriatric facility where they sent old people to just live out their life and die.
So a hospice?
Hospice is kind of. They provide care. It was a place where they sent old people. Old people went to this island, and they basically lived there till their death. And whether they got help or not.
Wow.
And that facility closed in 1972, I believe, in
That
the
is
70s.
fucking crazy.
So this island has like literally, like, if you think of scary places in the world, you think of psychiatric hospitals, those places like Penhurst or whatever it's called.
Penhurst, yeah.
Is a major one. You think of like old people dying. You think of death. This island is layers upon layers upon layers of absolute death.
I mean, literally.
Literally, there are buildings built upon bones. And so obviously there's a lot of hauntings that happen here. People getting scratched, people facing off with hearing voices. There's some people who say that they went and stayed the night at Poveglia, whatever, and they would hear what sounded like there was one instance where they were staying in a tent, and they literally started hearing just like whispers all across the island in the middle of the night. They woke up to whispers, and most people who go there, or not most people, a lot of people who go there will notice like little scratches on their body that there shouldn't be, and a lot of really scary shit that's really gone down at this island. So
It's just a cat.
it is considered to be, a lot of people consider it to be the most haunted place on the planet, in a lot of aspects.
Considering it's
There's just pure concentration. If it's just a tiny little island, just like just steeped in deaths of hundreds of people over hundreds of years, like per capita, yeah, probably.
Yeah, it's literally fueled by human suffering.
Yeah, it really is, and it's in the middle of water, and it's hard to get to. So, like, there's a lot of there's a lot of ways you can look at hauntings. You can look at them as real, physical. You can think of them as something that's sort of like an imprint in a way, something of horrible history that kind of affects you from an internal point of view, and you can kind of think of it as like a ritualistic properties to it, right?
Yeah.
So ritualistically, you have to get on a boat. There's no ferries that really go there. Fishermen don't fish due to superstition. There's superstition around the island. There's you have to get on these you have to pay a fisherman, or not fisherman, but or like somebody in the water to take you there, and they won't even take you fully there. They'll take you to like these little bitty rocks off that you have to kind of like walk in low tide towards and like it's very
Spooky.
It's very spooky.
yeah.
And so you have to sort of, there's a ritual of like people not wanting to go there, them taking you by boat to this place that's completely desolate of human life. You go there, you have rundown haunted buildings, you have literal crunching bones underneath your feet, and I mean obviously it's been what, 800 years almost, or I guess so.
If it was 400,
1300s.
Yeah, it's been 700 years ago.
Yeah. So 700 years ago, but so like the bones are pretty much dust at this point.
Yeah.
But there are some that's still there that if you dig or you look around or you find the right spot, you're gonna find some.
Yeah.
So obviously there's a lot of scary shit there, as well as like these experiences that other people have of like hearing voices and getting scratched and getting attacked, and Zach Bagans or Baggins or whatever his name is
Baggins.
screaming,
God,
Possessed by a demon punches the wall.
fucking damn it! You scared the
That
shit
was
out of
loud
me.
for me, and it scared me.
Fuck.
So Paveglia is one of those places that I personally want to go to.
No,
Oh
that's-
yeah, I'd love to.
It
That
was-
sounds like a scary. Like, take all supernatural elements out of that. Fuck that. I ain't going near that place.
Yeah, so I
That
mean,
just sounds unsanitary.
It
graveyard.
sounds a lot better. Like whenever the way you've been describing it, it reminds me of the Paris catacombs in a way
Yeah.
because of all
Oh,
the bodies.
yeah.
I would tend all times out of how many times if I was asked to go to Paris catacombs or the island, I'd go to the island because fuck the catacombs.
I don't like being
I'm
in small
claustrophobic,
spaces, yeah.
and I don't like the idea of there being miles and miles or kilometers and kilometers of tunnel
Thanks for getting
underneath the
metric.
city.
Fun fact: it doesn't matter what your unit of measurement is. Wait, hold on. No, there's only kilometers in Europe.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say just on the subject of the Paris catacombs, like there's still places of the catacombs that are uncharted. Like there's a lot that is mapped, but there's still plenty that hasn't. It's that
Yeah.
caved in and are in danger of caving in. And there's one documentary I saw about it that was super unnerving because they found the camcorder of a spelunker, I'm talking about like an urban explorer, and they never found the person.
Yeah.
Like, they just found his movie of him filming himself down there, and they never found the guy, and they're just playing this back of a person that was never found again.
I've also seen like pictures of like I don't know if it's legit, but there's pictures of it's a tunnel and there's like a rotting body on the ground, and there's like a guy with a surprised face looking like, oh my god. It's been passed around for years on the internet.
So like is a photo of like an explorer finding like a dead body in the catacombs?
Yes.
Wow.
Also, just another thing about the Paris catacombs. I know we had the island, but
It's a haunted location.
Yeah.
It's relevant.
the bones, like people steal explorers, like urban explorers. You can go there and there's bones everywhere still. In the mapped areas, people just walk over the bones. And I feel like that place would be 10 times more haunted than this island because you're actually messing with the dead person's bones.
Speaking of Paveglia, anyways, I think it's a place that we should all go to one day. Go chill
I'm
out.
down.
I'd be down.
Kickstart our trip to Poveglia. Follow us on Patreon.
We'll do a live podcast from this island. So nobody like lives on this island now. It's,
No, no.
Not that I could find information on.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably some weirdo who's like free island, you know.
Yeah,
But
sure.
Yeah, there's still buildings and stuff.
Yeah.
Like there was another view of it. It's fucking small. So it's like being trapped on that island is like a very scary thought.
Yeah. And I mean, also if you just take from, just math, for instance, 2/3 of people died of the bubonic plague. If 100,000 people were on this island, just counting the people that had the plague, that means this island would have burnt roughly 66,000 people.
Yep.
Not counting prisoners or those that counted against the government. And if the island is this small, which, it is, that's something we can factually prove. What the fuck?
Just think like oh man, I can't do the math, but like for every like probably like
every square inch of that island has to be covered in some sort of human
remain.
DNA.
Yeah.
That's fucking terrifying. It's literally an island made of dead bodies,
oh fuck.
which is
That's everything, really.
but
like literally, you just dig and like the whole island's just on top of just skulls and skulls. and
yeah,
skulls.
like
That
fuck.
would be that'd be crazy. You know?
man. Okay, Colt.
Mine, it's a little shorter than Cody's.
Okay.
I couldn't find much information on the actual place, but some of the stuff is pretty spooky and kind of stoopy.
Oh, I'm ready to get.
And I said stoopy.
I'm ready to get
Stupid.
stupid.
I'm ready to get
Yeah.
Snoopy in here.
My place is Bukit Tungku. It is in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And I don't know why, but I've always said Malaysia is spelt wrong, even though it's factual that it's spelled right.
Huh? Okay.
It's because there's it's MALAYSH, or no, not SH,
SIA.
SIA. I feel like the Y shouldn't be there.
Well, I'll get right on that for you.
Yeah, I know.
Colt.
Yeah.
But the place is named after a politician who had a house there. His name was Tunku Abdul Rahman, like the noodle. Not really. It was RAHMAN. It's made of luxury condos, villas, and it's surrounded by housing projects So it's like no stores, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's spooky time now because that was all the.
Oh, that was the fun stuff.
Yeah. The most popular urban legend is a phantom motorcyclist that is said to have died while in a race. He still rides the roads, revving his motorcycle and going at high speeds before vanishing in the dark abyss.
So they're just people that hearing just motorcycle sounds.
Yeah,
So
they're seeing and hearing. I think it's just a bunch of kids fucking around.
Sure, but
So you're telling me we have Malaysian Ghost Rider?
I hope so.
Oh.
I picture him riding a very tiny motorcycle.
That's actually a very common thing in at least Japan, where it was like the whole like Ghost Rider sort of thing. Like spirit is a thing in Japan. It's actually like a cryptid. It's kind of fun.
On the wiki that I was watching, also my sources, wiki and some other website that I'll get to in a little bit, they had a thing that said taxi drivers usually refuse to pick up women and children at night, which I thought was funny and also kind of fucked up.
it's really fucked up.
Because it's probably just people and not ghosts.
Well, did they say why they refuse to pick up women and children?
It didn't say anything. It just said that. It was in the haunted page, and I was like, "What? No, you're not going to give me a reason?" It just says they just refuse to pick up women and children at night.
So it's just okay.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like there's probably more to the story. Like
That seems like a political issue.
like somehow there's a story of like a woman and her child get in the car and they disappear, or the driver gets taken to hell or something. Like the person disappears. I feel like there's something there that we just don't know about.
I couldn't find anything on it. So.
Or they have to race Malaysian Ghost Rider.
The real horror of this is systemic oppression, guys.
Thank you, Jonathan.
True.
On the other website, which was, I think it's a personal blog called postcod.my, it was a guy talking about the location. And he talked about a group of people that were ghost hunting in a villa there, and they were getting hit with pebbles. And where they were getting hit with pebbles, they could hear a woman moaning in the corner of the villa.
It's annoying.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying.
Yeah, this is scary. It's just like a nuisance.
What if it's like a sick lady who's just trying to get people's attention? It's like,
They're not even pebbles. They're just raisinets.
Oh, I do love me a raisinette.
Raisins covered in chocolate.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Ooh, white chocolate.
These people researched the villa, and they revealed that a woman hung herself in the exact corner where they were getting pelted with pebbles and raisins.
damn.
And raisins.
And raisins.
One of the people that was in the group, that was getting choked so badly she was turning black and blue with drool coming out of her mouth. And she said, quote, "Please don't do this to me. Please don't do this to me." The woman fell asleep in the car, and only woke up as she dropped off at her house. And she had a fever for 5 days after. Now that sounds like a whole lot of bullshit, but it was spooky. Also, it was on a random website. I don't know how I got there. Like, honestly, it was a bunch of letters and stuff, but it was a picture of a guy sitting in the middle of the road.
Those are called words.
No. I was talking about the actual website link. But in the picture, it was just a guy sitting in the middle of the road, and there was a video below it. It just showed the guy pulling around the corner, and he sees the guy sitting in the middle of the road, and he's like, "No, fuck this," and he turns back. And I honestly think it was just a crackhead. I don't think it was a ghost.
So it was like a POV shot of a guy riding down the road. You just see some random person just sitting in the road.
Yeah.
Well,
Like sitting in the road or like standing in the...
Crisscross applesauce.
Oh, yeah.
that's still kind of spooky. If you're just driving down like some dirt road, just a
I'd run
dude
him
standing
over.
there. That's how they get the Ghost Riders. They get run over.
That's true. And have you ever
Yep.
seen that scene from Smallville, maybe, where the dude gets hit by a car and the car gets fucked up?
Yeah, like in Code Lyoko.
No, you're thinking of that Angel movie.
Yeah, maybe I was thinking of something else. Maybe that wasn't Smallville. Anyway.
The last little bit of information I have is a lot of the stories were just ghosts that fuck around with travelers. Like, ooh, I'm here.
What's up, everyone?
Honestly, I don't think it's haunted. I think it's a lot of bullshit.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Hey, claps for Cole. And also claps for Cody for earlier. These are two people claps. Jonathan.
All right. Bringing it more local, my haunted location is a stretch of Highway 5 in Lynn, Alabama.
That's all.
We can go there.
I've actually been there.
Oh.
How far is it from here?
It is about an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Okay.
This was actually a story I kind of grew up with, forgot about, and then when I was researching last night, I was like, "Oh fuck, I know this place."
Pat was in the same room and he just shit himself whenever Jonathan screamed
It's
out.
like, what's wrong?
But it's the stretch of Highway 5 where the story goes, this girl, her and her boyfriend were going home from the prom. They get into an argument. She said, "Fuck this shit, I'm out." So she gets out of the car and "I'm going to walk home, fuck you." Well, she doesn't go home, and turns out she got hit by a semi.
Jeez, well, that's not home.
Yeah. So there have been countless stories, even like some of my family members have claimed this shit happens. Is you'll be driving down the road and you'll see her like disembodied like body like float alongside the car. That's the most tame stuff.
That's still fairly spooky.
What year did this happen in? By chance?
I could not find an exact date or names or stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
since you mentioned prom, it's
It has
probably
to be 20
fairly recent, like
It has to be in
70s,
the-
80s, 90s.
At least the 20th century.
Yeah.
Or at least like I would probably say the oldest like 1950.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say 50s. Yeah.
And if it's like most any like backwoods road in Alabama, and it's actually not even that backwoods of a road. It's a kind of a main highway, but it's just this long straight stretch of road with just walls of trees on either side. Other stories include her banging on car doors, especially if you're driving a semi truck. And
I'm sure she has a real personal problem with them. Yeah.
I wonder why. And probably the scariest shit is she'll actually peer inside your vehicle.
No, fuck that.
Looking for your
Now, are these cars that are stationary, or they're driving to just see like a head just kind of pop into the?
No, you're like driving down the road and you just see this woman like look into your car.
Dude, a spider fucks me up while driving. If there's a ghost in my car,
You ain't taking me alive.
I've gave this advice before. Just start jerking off. As soon as you get to that road, just start jerking it, and you will never get scared.
I hate that that's like audible advice you've given for 2 years on this podcast.
Because
when it
it's
comes to
legit.
ghosts.
You won't be scared, and the ghost will be like, "What the fuck?"
It's true. I he did say.
Have
that.
you done it?
That's like I could personally attest for the method.
I thought it was crazy, and then he's like, you know what?
I want to try it.
I think it's crazy till you start getting a demon on you.
Yeah, like just not act, but get horny, get really horny, and like that demon or that ghost will be like, "I don't really want to do this right now." Unless it's like a succubus or what's the other
Incubus.
incubus, it will probably want
Oh,
that.
the band.
But for the most part, you'll probably be safe.
Okay.
Thank you, Cole.
Jonathan,
Professional
continue,
jerk
please.
off expert.
But yeah, I've actually been there. It supposedly it only happens at night, but like it's a creepy ass road.
Well, that sounds like it.
And like I said, it was I was just doing research. Also, Tuscaloosa haunted as fuck.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
no. Every time I look for haunted places, like 45 places in Tuscaloosa are haunted as shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep. Super Target, fucking haunted.
Yeah, the Target, number one.
And Walmart.
all the sorority and frat people. Anywho, yeah, and it was just a story I grew up with, and I was like, oh fuck, and I initially just took it up to my like my grandma just like bullshit, but no, it's like so many recorded cases of people seeing this woman either float by their car or actually like fuck with their car, and that's like I ain't having none of that.
What part of Alabama, like, where are you driving to go down this road?
It's
Like, are you taking the back ways to the beach? You going up north?
no, it's northwestern Alabama. It's
Okay. So it's like if you're going to, like,
it's like kind of
Chattanooga.
Actually, no, more like the other way. Like if you're going more towards like Florence or Muscle Shoals.
Oh, okay.
It's how I let's see, because the way I remember is going through the little town of Ewan.
Wow, we're getting real fucking local here.
Getting really fucking low.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you start going like east, like you're going towards like Georgia or some shit.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, there's a specific stretch of the road where it supposedly happens,
Yeah.
and she won't follow you past a certain point.
Well, that's nice of her.
Yeah. but I can't tell you for certain what that stretch is.
Yeah,
Huh.
do your own research.
We just gotta go. Fuck, so we're going to Italy and Northwest Alabama.
But we had to go to Italy first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
but
the
like
more
I said,
affordable.
it's only like an hour and a half away.
Yeah. Huh. Okay. Well, everybody, claps for Jonathan.
That was clap, clap, clap,
No.
clap your hands.
Yeah, no, I got it.
That's right.
Patrick, why don't you hit us with your haunted location next?
My haunted location is the Island of the Dolls, or Isla de las Muñecas.
What did you say?
Yeah. The Island of the Dolls, or in Spanish, Isla de las Muñecas.
Okay.
Yep.
This is south of Mexico City in Xochimilco, and it's a small island that's aptly named covered in dolls. And these are dolls that were found by the island's caretaker, Julian Santana, and the story begins that he was in the 1950s. He was on a boat near the island. He noticed a young girl drowning in the vegetation near the bank of the island, and he tried to get to her in time, but unfortunately the young girl died. And so, just sort of like as like an act of penance, he decided to sort of remain on the island, because he got the idea to stay on the island and take care of it. When shortly after the girl died, he saw the girl's doll float up nearby him, and he sort of took that as a sign that was sort of the girl's like restless spirit. And so from then on, for the next 50 years, he would take any doll he would find in the area and trash, and just any doll that he could, and he would put him on the island. He would tie him to like every single surface, like all the trees are covered in just dolls, just parts of dolls, and they've just been left out and exposed to the elements. Like, I watched the video of it, and there's literally like clotheslines, just like strung up with doll parts all across the island. And it's what makes it even more like unsettling, just other than just all these broken dolls just sit there for time just to be exposed to the elements, is that in 2001, Julian's son hadn't heard from him in a few days, so he went to check on him, and he found his father dead in the water where the young girl had drowned. And so ever since, so the activities really sort of escalated on the island, because people who have sort of stayed on the island overnight just to sort of get a feel for it, they've heard like whispers and talking, and they feel like they're being watched, because people have noticed like the dolls still, like the eyes will follow you.
Hey.
Or even more unsettling, they'll notice a doll will be on a certain part of the island, and it won't be there when they get back.
No,
Dude,
no,
I ain't
no,
fucking with no dolls. I watched the new Child's Play.
I'm just saying, start punching or jerking off, or both.
So people have reported being taught to, like hearing whispers, like maybe even being followed by the dolls in the island. And what makes it like probably even more unnerving is that he has several structures on the island, because he lived there full time after a while. But his house is where he kept the best dolls, the most pristine dolls, and they're all ranged in bundles in the house. But there's one shrine in the center of the house where the most special doll resides. It was his favorite doll, and the only doll in the island that has a name, and that doll was named Augustinita. Augustinita. And we don't know where that name comes from. Some people speculate that's the name of the girl that had died, and that's the doll that's in the best condition. It had received the best care. And
I'll fist fight that doll.
and with the island, it's there is an air of superstition about it. There's an air of like uncomfortability about the island. Although some people view it differently. Some people don't see it as haunted; they see it as charmed.
Yeah.
Because for his entire life, Julian maintained that the dolls were there as protectors, as sort of to ward off danger from dying children. Because he sort of uses that as like a way to appease the girl who died so tragically, and to prevent any other people from dying there, or at least children from dying there. And that's sort of why it's there. Some people see it as sort of like a concentration of negative energy because someone died there, and like just sort of or some of this negative energy there, some of this negative emotion, that it's sort of like it became like a focal point for bad spirits, and it's like. And the spirits of the drowned children are trapped in the dolls, and they're sort of stuck there, and that negative energy just builds. And there's different ways people view the island, but it generally gets considered just a concentration of spiritual energy, and it's different for whoever goes there. Some people feel very unsettled. Some people feel like this is sort of like a concentration of spiritual energy, and it's there for protection. But either way, it's a very spiritually charged area, and it's considered one of the most haunted places in Mexico.
It seems like this island gave way too much power to this one dude to put just a ton of dolls everywhere, and nobody questioned it.
But it's just a kind of a small island. Like it's
very small.
It's big enough for like maybe like one person to live there full time, but it's not like
Oh, so it's not.
It's like
It's nowhere near the size of Cody's Island.
Yeah.
It's like it's almost like a giant raft, kind of.
Some people consider it like a floating island because it's just trees. And just a lot
And
of
dolls.
like water vegetation, like it's a spit of land basically.
Yep, pretty much.
50,000 dolls were burned there.
Oh my god. I ain't fucking with no dolls.
So I will say, any video you watch, whether you believe in supernatural or not, it's definitely unnerving just to see just all these dead, decaying dolls. Like, and there's not, like I said, not just whole dolls, like limbs and heads and just whatever parts you can find are just strapped to every single available surface on the
Oh
island.
yeah,
And he started doing this
He started doing this in the 50s.
in the 50s, so some of these dolls probably look fucking raw.
Oh yeah, no, it's fucking.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I mean, I've seen a few pictures of the place, and I mean, it's terrifying just from like a aesthetic point of view.
Have there been any attempts to take any of them down?
I feel like people are they don't want to invoke any sort of like backing that from the spirit, so they just sort of leave that to be. There is still a caretaker on the island.
That's what I was going to ask next.
There's someone who's there that has like sort of off seasons, because it is open to like small like carefully curated visitors, because it is so small, and just like the waterways to the island is very congested because there are like small islands that people sort of go to for like touristing purposes in the area, but this is so far off that even the boats that sort of clear the waterways of like vegetation, they don't even go in.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It sounds like it's a haven for mosquitoes.
I would bet.
Yeah.
There are a lot of spiders too.
Well, that kind of goes back to what I was saying about how like the different ideas of like haunted, how it's kind of haunted, and how can one death and a bunch of baby dolls kind of contribute to a haunted place, or two deaths, I should say. Well, I mean, like, he sort of kind of puts that, he gave it that onus and that sort of like power in a way, and now it's become like a mythical legend, and people believe it, and so it kind of creates its own sort of scary aspect and atmosphere itself. So either way, scary as shit. Wouldn't want to do that.
No, not even messing with that. And also, you say two deaths for an island that has an average population of 1.
Doesn't add up.
Something doesn't add up here.
Why was that girl there? What was she doing there?
Yeah, what? Huh, okay.
Maybe she died there millions of years ago.
Oh, she was a dinosaur girl.
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy that y'all managed to link that up.
Thank God no dinosaur ghosts, am I right?
Yeah, thank God.
Are you sure?
You know? What a fossil.
They're
not
Those
real.
are just solid ghosts.
Think about it. Just wiggle that around for a little bit.
Well, if it's the spirit of like an entity, like spirit, soul, would it be a fossil?
What the fuck?
Patrick, you are off this show.
What the pumpkin?
It's a bit from 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah, okay.
bringing them back.
Bringing it back. Okay. I guess I'll go next.
Yeah, I guess.
Because we're going alphabetical order, so obviously I go next.
No, me.
My place is, and I'm probably going to butcher this just because I'm sure the vowel makes a different sound. I don't know. Luang Siwu. is the name of my place. It literally means 1,000 doors in Indonesian. This place is located in Semarang, Central Java, Indonesia, and it was originally built as the headquarters for the Dutch East Indies Railway Company. So they meant to use this as like a actual like industrious place.
Yeah.
First thing that struck me as really odd was building opened in 1907. They're like, okay, guess what? Y'all can come in. Y'all can come start working. Wasn't completed until 1919.
Oh.
For some reason, they were just like half-built building. Come in. It was a complex of buildings. It was building A, building B. And they were like, y'all can just come in now.
I'm just imagining just like an archway and there's just like a flat field.
That's pretty much like kind of what it was, from what I can understand. They were just like, all right, come run your operation.
Somebody can say the same thing about the construction here in Alabama.
Whoa, boom.
Good God.
And like I said, this place was Luangsi means 1,000 doors. This place had a lot of fucking archways, a lot of windows. It actually has about 600 large windows between the two buildings.
Those aren't doors.
Yeah, I was gonna
Those
say,
aren't doors, but there are also a lot of doors and archways, but also a lot of
archways
windows.
aren't doors.
They're air doors.
Yeah. So kind of uninhabited, or not uninhabited. The railway company is working here in 1919. World War II rolls around. Japan invades Indonesia. They take over this complex, and they use the basement of Building B as a prison for whatever reason. And nobody knows how many executions took place there, but like some hundreds, if not thousands, of executions took place here.
Oh yeah.
Just real fucked up, torturous shit for a couple of years. Eventually, the Dutch do take back Semarang in 1945. This is after like all this stuff. This is October 1945 when this happens. They managed to build a tunnel that connected underground of Building A to like the center of the city, and they did like a counterattack on Japan, like through the tunnels, and like took back Semarang. Five employees of the building died. There's a monument in front of Building A now that was like, oh, thanks for these 5 employees that did. So it was like a citizens' revolt, essentially.
Oh.
It wasn't like Indonesian troops or anything. So after the war, the building gets returned to Indonesian soldiers. It eventually gets back to the way of the Dutch East Railway Company. But then it falls into what is called a cultural property for Indonesia in 1992. And Indonesia just kind of does nothing with it for a little bit. Like, this was a white building, like a pure white building. The building is now black with mold and pollution. A ton of the windows are broke and all that good stuff. And there was something... Yeah, that was from an account in 2009. Can only imagine it got worse. And Indonesia actually tried a preservation effort on the building, and it was like, essentially to preserve the building, you would have had to tear it down and build a new one. Was how much in shambles it is. But it's actually become a very popular tourist attraction for people very interested in supernatural and hauntings and ghosts, because obviously thousands of people were killed inside this complex. And there are many, 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 many eyewitness accounts of people seeing headless ghosts just coming to fuck about. And there's also, this was just thrown in there, a Dutch woman who killed herself in the building, and you'll hear her screams sometimes too.
Don't like that.
Which had nothing to do with the war. I couldn't find any other, like, why was there a Dutch woman in this building? But
it's just something they put in there.
It's just something that was in there, and you can hear this woman scream. But I mean, this is like Semarang's like most popular tourist attraction area. I assumed it's average about 1,000 visitors daily at this place, so it's actually fairly
busy.
Fairly busy. But a bunch of people see a bunch of ghosts. And Indonesia does still want to rebrand the building. There was actually talks of tearing it down and building a mall or a huge sporting complex.
That's asking for a haunted location.
Right? But anyways, but the citizens were like, no, we want our spooky building.
Yeah.
So
Understandable.
It's kind of like that, but
that's tourist.
money. It's touristy stuff, and
it adds flavor.
Yeah, it adds flavor to your city.
Like another like JCPenney.
So it's not so much like people obviously, I mean, tons of people have said they have seen headless ghosts, obviously, because the Japanese soldiers executed all these Indonesian citizens in this prison. So that's just kind of the thing. It's just a building that has a tortured past where a bunch of people claim to see a bunch of headless ghosts now. and hear a random Dutch woman scream. But I feel like it's interesting from the perspective of like, usually with a lot of haunted locations, you'll see a lot of people just don't want to fuck with it. And like the citizens of this place was like, you better not tear down our spooky building or we're going to get pissed. So I found that pretty interesting. And also, like, I'd never heard of this place, but yet it gets over 1,000 visitors daily. So if you average, I mean, that's 365,000 visitors a year. That's huge.
Yeah.
That's a huge tourist number. And I've never heard of this place. I thought it was really interesting.
No. I guess we give a little clap for Tanner.
Yeah, a little clap. Did we give a clap for Patrick? Clap for Patrick. Wenzel, why don't you finish us off?
I don't have one.
Oh, fuck.
No, speaking of tourist attractions, people, if you're in Tennessee, you might know this, the Bell Witch Cave. It is a karst cave located in Adams, Tennessee, near the Bell Farm. And,
Well, they farm there.
Oh, I've heard of this. Sorry, I'm getting a donut.
And
Bells.
if
They
you don't
farm
know,
bells there.
karst is a type of topography formed from the dissolution of soluble rocks such as limestone, dolomite, and gypsum. So that's a fun little fact for you.
Thanks for the fun fact before you spook us.
But yeah, so this place is very famous. It also has a lot of it's a tourist attraction. It gets I don't know if it gets quite a bit of people, but it has an off and on season. But something interesting before I get into the legend, because there's actually a website for it, which is pretty cool. Bellwitchcave.com. Check it out. But
Hashtag not an ad.
But it is so much notoriety that even President Andrew Jackson has been to it and does not want to fuck with it. He said he'd rather face the entire British Army than deal with the Bell Witch. And
But to be fair, the British Army was a bunch of pansies.
and also the Bell Witch, fun fact, is also is what the Blair Witch is a little loosely based on.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So there you go.
I thought the Blair Witch was real.
she is.
But yeah, let's get into it. The Legend of the Bell Witch. I'm reading right off the website too because there is no better summarization.
Yeah, obviously.
So John Bell, a farmer from North Carolina, along with his wife and children, settled in North Robertson County, Tennessee in 1804. Their farm consisted of 320 acres of rich farmland that laid along the Red River. They lived a quiet, peaceful life here for the first 13 years. They were members of the Red River Baptist Church, where John became a deacon. The family grew and became somewhat prosperous. But that takes a turn. In the late summer of 1817, something would happen that would change their lives forever. Some members of the family began seeing strange-looking animals around the property. Then late at night, they started hearing knocking sounds on the doors and outer walls of the house. Later, sounds were being heard in the house. Sounds of a rat gnawing on the bedpost, chains being dragged through the house, stones being dropped on the wooden floors, then gulping and choking sounds.
That's just Tennessee.
That's Andrew
Yeah.
Jackson.
Yeah.
I really do like the idea of like you hear just like. Hold on, let me do it.
Yeah,
hold on, everybody, hold on.
And it's
Are we
just-
in Tennessee?
It's just an old president trying to find his way around a fucking house. Yeah. But anyway, the family was terrified, but kept the problem to themselves for over a year. When things became intolerable, John confided in a neighbor, James Johnson. He invited Mr. and Mrs. Johnson to spend the night. After several nights of witnessing these strange things, Mr. Johnson suggested that more people should be told, and a committee was formed and an investigation started.
Let me tell you this. If I ever get haunted, you bet your ass y'all hearing about it that day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I ain't waiting no year. If I'm forming a committee, I will have a committee formed in 24 hours. I will hunt this demon to the ends of the fucking earth. If you fuck with me.
Well, you probably try to like get us on like some kind of FaceTime just to say, "Well, you see this shit."
Did you see fucking face in the background? Like, yeah. Don't worry, Tanner.
Everybody in the 1800s was
I'll get a priest of each faith.
Let me just say, 1800 to 1899, if you're listening and you were born in those years, you're dumb.
Yeah, stupid dum-dums.
You know, and something else that's been recently happening, and it scared the shit out of me the first time, but then I started realizing what was going on. Fucking,
You going to tell us a fucking ghost story is happening to you?
No. Sort of.
Don't you sort of be Winslow. Don't you bring another demon in this house.
So this actually happened today, but it's been happening for the past few weeks.
What the fuck? Why haven't you told us?
So what happened was, so when I go in the bathroom, sometimes the light will just come on, go off. And I'll just be sitting there, washing my hands, taking a piss, taking a shit, and then it'll just.
I love how
it'll just go dark. It'll go dark, and then fucking and I remember I talked to my brother-in-law about this because he knows about electrician work, and his uncle is also an electrician. So he was like, so what we figured out is that like, you know, the switch, if you don't like hit it up really fucking hard, the lights will just go out. So he was like, it's just a faulty switch. But then today when I was taking a shower, I was closing my eyes to washing my hair, and then I opened my eyes and everything's just dark. I'm like,
I would have pissed and shit.
I was like, fucking god damn it.
It's like, once it went blind in the shower.
That's not a ghost story.
Man.
But hold on.
Oh, okay.
So then I decided, so I opened the curtains. I was like, fuck me. And then the weirdest fucking thing is because the hallway light's on because it's the morning, everybody's awake and doing stuff. But there was 2 little just blocks of just where it was just, there was no light. Dark little blocks coming through where there's no light. Like,
Underneath the door?
no, like in front of the door.
Wait, there's 2 dark, like, shadows or shapes in front of you?
Shapes in front of the door like somebody's standing there. And the first thing I say is, shit, I can't see! So I just close the curtain and I just keep taking a shower.
I just picture it. It's probably your dad fucking with you, or
I know. When I close the door, I always lock the door.
You like put your glasses on, your dad's just standing there, all fucking like wide ass brim with his legs.
Well, see, it's something my dad used to do, and it was not funny. Was when he would before I started locking my door to the bathroom, whenever me and my sister would take a shower, he would always like do this bit where like whenever he would come in and like start flipping the switch on and off again in the shower and be like, to scare us
that
as
just pissed me
kids.
off.
Yeah, no, it pissed me off. That's why I locked the door. But yeah, so there's a fun little thing. I don't know.
Fucking exciting that you're dealing with a ghost right now.
Yeah. Man, crazy shit's happening at my house.
You got a frog? It's the frog.
it's a damn frog.
It's haunted. Oh fuck. He's a stand. He's got a stand.
I had to fight him.
I started watching on the part with JoJo season 3 where I met Iggy.
Oh,
He's a
shit.
good boy.
Oh, fuck. Let's get back into the spooky. Shit, where was I? Okay. It was not long before people were coming from miles around to hear and witness this unseen force that was terrorizing the Bell home. Before long, this unseen force had gained enough strength that it had now had a voice. When asked who and what it was, it gave different identities. It once stated that it was the witch of a neighbor woman named Kate Batts.
Kate Beckinsale.
Yes.
Wait, so the ghost is a witch? Or it's a witch?
Or is there some kind of, like, specter that she's conjured?
Or it could be the witch died and then turned into a ghost.
Yeah, that's
now
what
she's super ghost.
That's what I'm wondering, or if it's a ghost that decided to study witch.
There's been like stories of witches who have died, and like, no, I say witches, I'm not talking about like, you know, crystals and sage. I'm talking about like malevolent people or malevolent creatures or priests or whatever you want to call them, shamans who died, and after their death they became these spirits with like
Tremendous amounts of energy.
like almost they became nearly demonic.
I've seen Last Jedi.
Which, if you watch... actually, a good example of that is actually the Blair Witch movie. Has anybody seen the Blair Witch movies?
No.
Yes.
Well, oh, you have? Have you seen the newest one?
I've seen. No,
Or I've only seen the first one.
Yeah, me too.
Well, something that was cool about it is that like the Blair Witch itself, spoiler, is it has no physical form.
Yeah.
Ah,
Oh,
okay.
Pennywise.
Well, Pennywise does have a physical form.
Just light.
Well, yeah, that's more physical than anything, but also he's a giant fucking spider.
No, he's a turtle. That's his enemy.
That's
Anyways.
Madarin. Anyway.
Oh my god.
Nerds.
But anyway, this is what this is what many people believed, and from then on, this unseen force was called Bait the Bell's Witch. It seemed that Kate had 2 main reasons for visiting the Bell home. The main one was to kill John Bell. For what reason, no one knows, because Kate never gave a reason why. The second reason was to stop John's youngest daughter, Betsy, from marrying a certain neighbor boy named Joshua Gardner. Over the next 3 years, Kate tormented members of the Bell family almost daily. John and his daughter, Betsy, was the ones who received the worst of the physical abuse. Betsy had her hair pulled, she was pinched, scratched, stuck with pins, and even beaten. While John Bell began suffering from spells of swelling of the throat and often had the feeling of a stick being stuck sideways in his throat.
Can I interject real quick?
Yeah.
What if this is just a huge way of John being like, "You were not marrying that Josh"? Like, listen to me. We're going to think of a ghost.
Honestly, you could probably say like it was just him abusing his daughter and it was just cover up as the witch.
Yeah.
Oh no, he was definitely abusing his daughter. That's not a witch.
But then came the twitching and jerking of the facial muscles. Kate would blast him with curses and hideous threats during these spells. As time went on, John Bell became weaker and weaker. Kate was becoming well known and drew large crowds of people. She seemed to be very intelligent in many things: the Bible, people's past, and the future. She could be in two places at the same time, miles apart from each other. She, Kate, finally accomplished her mission for coming to the Bell Farm. On December 20th, 1820, John Bell had died. It was believed that he was poisoned by Kate, and Kate took full credit for his death. And then in March of 1821, I know this is fucking crazy because Kate is not alive. Kate's a fucking witch, dead witch. Young Betsy broke off her engagement with Joshua Gardner.
Oh, I have to feel awful if you're Josh.
But then Kate then bid everyone farewell and promised to return in 7 years. She did return in 1828 for a few short weeks. During this visit, she came to the home of John Bell Jr. and had long talks with him about the past, the present, and the future. She made some predictions for the future. Kate also said there was a reason for John Bell's death. However, she never said what the reason was. After the second visit, she said her next return would be in 107 years. That would have been in 1935, but some believe that she, Kate, never left the area at all due to the strange things that had occurred in and around the town of Adams and the Bell Witch Cave over these many years.
Dude, that's the story of Tuck Everlasting.
Yeah, but no, there's another thing here that it is believed that there's an account claimed to be Kate Batts was a mean old neighbor of John Bell who believed she was created by him in a land purchase. She was cheated by him in a land purchase, so that's why she's a fucking evil-ass ghost. And on her deathbed, she swore that she would haunt John Bell and his descendants. So,
man.
Yep. But yeah, no, there's been a lot of, like, hauntings and ghost stuff reported, and it's a tourist attraction.
Yeah.
And there's actually this really long-ass Reddit story that's fucking creepy as fuck, and I highly recommend it. It's called The Bell Witch Cave Haunted or Nah.
One of America's greatest literary...
No, that's not it. That was wrong. I read the wrong thing.
Wow.
The real story, or the real story is: has anyone heard of the Bell Witch? Go read that on Reddit. It's really creepy.
Is it on what is it on? What web subreddit is on?
It is on No Sleep.
Nah, it's fake.
It's fake, but it's still good.
Yeah, I know.
They're
I'm just saying it's real good. Yeah.
Say anything on No Sleep, it's all fake.
Now, if you one of my favorite things about Reddit is the Ask Reddit, where like, what's the most spooky thing that's ever happened to
I
you?
post it every day.
My motherfucking ass is in bed, just scrolling, getting spooked.
Yeah.
I have mirrors in my bedroom now.
Yeah,
Lots of
That's your entire apartment.
It's Suspiria.
There's a room that's nothing but mirrors.
Yeah,
Which isn't a lie.
Think about putting up a sheet in that.
Yeah, because that
between-
guy in the corner when we're watching movies is getting really fucking creepy.
Well, hold on.
He was like right behind you, and you were being the game master.
Why are you talking about the cult? No, I'm freaked out.
Dude, I'm going to the apartment tonight. You shut up.
Like just look
Let me get
look in
spooked.
the corner, and you'll see him.
Yeah.
He smiles.
Looking.
Just a little story for our D&D session, real quick. I set up the table before they all got there. Here I am sitting at the table, hiding stuff from them and everything. And then here comes our friend over, and he's like, "They can see everything in the mirror behind you." I'm like, motherfucker.
No, it was funny because Cody was trying to keep us hidden what this one character was, and he had to look it up on his fucking laptop, and immediately you can see what it is in the mirror.
Because he turned it away from us, but we can still clearly see it.
Yeah, he turned it away from us, but it's in the direction of the mirror. So
That's classic Cody.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I will say, even though everybody's gone around, Jonathan and I, we had a personal story we wanted to talk about.
Hit that bitch
on the haunted location because we currently went.
Oh my God! Stop.
Cody's having a conniption
He's
fit.
gonna get rope burned.
Cody got rug burn on his nose from his shirt. Okay.
Yes.
Good
Because
to
Jonathan and I were with some friends were getting in the new place, and we just were going around just house shopping. And there was one place that we stopped at. We just happened to inside the road that said for rent or lease, or excuse me, for sale or lease. And it was a very interesting home.
To say the least.
Fuck.
And it was one of those. What was it? It was like 4-bedroom, 3-bath.
You could have said it was 4-bedroom, 3 baths. Now this house is very deceptive from the road because it seems like just a larger house from the 1940s to 50s. But there is no logical reason for the layout of this house, because this is legitimately like a Alabama version of the Sarah Winchester Mystery Mansion, because the guy we spoke to, the owner of the house, said the original builder built with no sort of plan. He literally said he didn't know when to stop. So there's just like really just weird layout of the house, and it's even more like Byzantine from the back.
Yeah, like because like Pat was saying, like you look at it from the road, it's like, oh, it's kind of just this old house, and then you turn. There's a little road that goes to the back of it, and it does not make fucking sense. Like, it has awnings. The awnings have awnings. And the owner of the house kind of gave me the creeps. Just the way he would describe certain parts of the house is like, there's this little... The best way I can describe it is a like little storage shed thing that's attached to the house. He called it the greenhouse.
It's basically like a cinder block hut with like an aluminum tin roof, basically, and it's just filled with like furniture. But I guess that's where you would put plants back in the day. But it's called it, quote, the greenhouse.
It makes no sense because you can't grow plants without light.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking
exactly.
of.
Like, it's like dark as fuck, and it's like painted black too.
The whole house is white too. It's just, it has all these like, it's white and green, has all these like awnings, like we said, and if you go up from the back, there's like all these like open air, like screened in like outdoor porches, patios. Mm-hmm. There's like 2 of those. There's 1 bedroom downstairs, 3 upstairs, and that doesn't even get into the basement.
We'll get into the basement in a minute. There's also a ladder to the outside that leads to the... Was it one of the bedrooms that ladder led to?
I presumably, because there's a ladder to the outside that's right next to like the side entrance to the house.
Mm-hmm.
Like a ladder attached to the house?
Yes.
Kind of like a fire escape ladder almost.
Nice.
Cole.
I said nice. I didn't say
Okay,
nice.
so you walk in, and there was still like paintings and shit on the wall, and like some of them were like, you know, like legit paintings you would hang up. Some of them were like kids' drawings that were still on. All the bedrooms had these little doors. Like, the best way I can describe it, if you've seen the animated Alice in Wonderland, it's like the little mini door.
Okay.
From there.
I've played Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah. But it literally leads to, like, you open the door, and it leads to just a crawl space.
Because like literally every single room had the little tiny little door that kind of just went to nowhere in particular, just like the inner workings of the house.
Yeah.
Oh, it's for people to crab walk.
Oh. And it legitimately, there was like broken tricycles and weird shit.
Yeah, there's one that had a whole ass tricycle in it that was just there, like left to nature. And the rooms are all big, but like it's kind of like this, of course, would be in the 50s. Like, it has these closets, but they're not in like really convenient places. Like all these nooks and crannies in the hall, you just open the door and that's your closet. It's this weird slanting like room that's really narrow.
Yeah, and like all the closets were really tiny. The bathrooms were pretty disgusting. And the guy was like, "I don't know why I can't sell this house," and I'm like, "Oh, you need to bomb the place." But like the first floor was semi-normal in the sense of it was definitely an older house. There was a thing, he had this area called the playroom.
It's just
Nah, any house that has a broom. Was this the only dude that lived there?
He doesn't live there. He owns it. He's trying to sell it.
He's killed children.
Because it's called the play, but it's really just like, it's right when you come into the side entrance. It's to the immediate right. It's just this big, long, rectangular room that kind of is open facing to the hall that kind of leads into the kitchen and everything. And it's just kind of, it's called the playroom. That's just what he used to describe it.
Yeah, and then he said did he describe the basement as finished?
He did not say it was finished. He just said there was a basement.
There was a basement, and he said, if you fix it up, you can have a whole family living in there. And I would not allow anyone to live in that fucking basement. Also, another thing too about this house. Apparently, everyone in 1950 was 5'5".
Yeah.
Because the ceilings were so low, I kept almost hitting my head the entire time.
Oh my god.
Especially on the stairs going down. On top of that, there was a bunch of fucking spider webs and shit. So I was trying not to like get spider webs in my hair. So we get to the basement. And the best way I can describe it is it was the house from the end of Blair Witch Project.
Like it's straight up a Blair Witch bait because there's just detritus and just dirt on the wall. It's no working electricity. We had to use our phones to light the way. And what makes it even more unnerving is that there's no logical layout to the basement because we walked and it just kept going and turning and twisting.
There were literal hallways that led to nowhere.
This sounds like a mansion.
Like it's a humongous house.
Oh,
It's a deceptively huge house.
It's
I
like-
mean, like, how much?
Didn't he say it was like $12.50?
It was $12.50 a month.
I mean, I want it today. Ah.
House
But
of Leaves.
the creepiest thing about also there was just a bunch of like stuff that people left.
Yeah, the people like there's kind of just there's a bunch of stuff that was left in the basement, and like you said, the hallways that went to nowhere because like I just kept walking. I just blazed the trail. I just walked all the way through it, and I turned a corner and then like there's nothing here. And then like I look a little further and there's just a little crevice that just goes to an end and just stops.
Nah, this was a murder house.
No, that's,
That's
a box
what we
off
called it.
We
We
called
called
it
it
the
the
murder
murder
house.
house.
That sounds like a toy box killer type shit.
Yeah. Okay, so the creepiest thing about it was the bathroom in the basement was so tiny. Like, the opening to it was like, I know this is a visual bit, but is about this wide.
About a foot and a half is what Jonathan's holding.
Yeah, about a foot and a half. And there was this tiny shower that just had a chair in the center of it.
What the fuck?
like a standing shower with just a chair in the middle. It's like this is where somebody got their blood drained.
Fuck.
Yeah.
My God.
And
Yeah.
so we come out of the basement and we were like, that was fucking weird. And the guy was showing us outside, he was showing us the greenhouse, and then like the washroom. You would have to go outside and go into this like other building.
Yeah, the washroom is you can only access it from the outside, and it's completely disconnected from every other part of the house. It's this big concrete room, and then there's also like a bunch of weird doorways that kind of are just hidden random places in the house. There's like literally an alleyway in like behind the house between like I guess the main section and like the add-on section, just as a alleyway with a door at the front of it. And the last thing he said, oh, there's still one more room if y'all want to check it out. It's in one of like the open air patios, and we all go up to it, and it's just a door with no handle. And he's like, yeah, go check it out.
He was really enthused.
He built the house.
He was uncomfortably enthusiastic about us going through that door.
You should have made him go first because it sounds like he's going to shut that door and chain it up.
We were just like, it doesn't have a handle. We
Can't open
nah.
it.
So yeah, that was that house. It was creepy as fuck.
I can't believe y'all dealt with a murderer and just told that story on the podcast. Jesus.
And I was surprised the place wasn't what's
Condemned?
well that because
The basement should be condemned.
the basement at least should be condemned, and I would argue the rest of the house. But like, I was surprised like the doors and shit weren't like activated by like emblems in Resident Evil. It was a it was like the Spencer Mansion from Resident Evil.
Fuck.
It's like we joked, what if we just like rent the house for one night for Halloween? And just,
That does sound like a fun place to visit.
Wasn't
though.
it gross though?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It was. I imagine the carpet was originally probably white. It was not white.
it's like this deep, like muddy brown, and like it's kind of like if you ever been into like a house that's like really old, it's just kind of been locked up for a long time. It's like the air was stale, and like it
was really musty.
really musky. It's just and plus like that level of carpet, it's really hot. It just traps heat. It was really bad upstairs too. Like I would like to have seen it when it was in its heyday, but to make it livable would cost more than the house would be worth.
Yeah.
Definitely. And like the kitchen, if you would even call it that, was so small. It was literally like the size of this table.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they talked about it during the replacements too, but after the recording of that, and fuck, it's out. This is horror.
That sounds awful. I'm glad y'all all went together as a group, because it sounds like just one of y'all would have went and came back.
One less podcaster.
Man.
Oh my god. Wow. That was the scariest play. Was the horrors of real estate.
Wait, what are we talking about again?
Thank you, everybody, for listening to this week's episode of the podcast. If you don't know, in October, we always do spooky episodes every Monday. So they'll be coming out every Monday. We're going to be spooky all month. So listen to us on SoundCloud, on Spotify, on iTunes, on Google Play, on Overcast. You can check us out on all those services. Leave us a review, a like, a subscription, a rating. Helps us out tremendously on all of those. You can follow us on Twitter at AYCH Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram, AYCH Podcast. And you can follow us on twitch.tv/AllYouCanHear. And you can follow me, your boy, Tanner, on Twitter at Tanner1495.
My name Colt. Follow me on Twitter at ColtD00. Boo.
Whoa.
Ooh.
My name's Jonathan. You can follow me at Twitter at JohnOdinson12.
My name's Cody, and you can follow me at CODDOC11. That's CODDOC11 on Instagram.
Cod Doc, if you don't know how to spell it. That's how we all say it.
Thank you for listening. I'm Wenzel, and you can follow me on Twitter at Wenzy Wilkie. Follow my Instagram at RoderWenzy. Thank you.
What?
You gotta remember, Patrick.
What?
What? So this is Patrick. Thank you all for listening. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at John Lost His Name. You can follow my art on Facebook at John Lost His Name Art.
Let's make this place haunted.
It's already haunted. Y'all have brought in too much spooky energy. Always.
Yeah,
Before
Cody
the
not-
podcast.
Yeah, like Cody not flushing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope your pops come to life and kill you.
Fuck. That's why I'm selling all of them.
Hot glue your pops. Hot glue your pops.
Bye.
People know what that is.